In this video, we are just going to continue over algebra, of which we are going to focus on factorization. Now, factorization, factorization is just the reverse of expansion. So, if you have been given a question in an expanded form, if they tell you to factorize, which simply means that you are just going to reverse the expansion which was done. In this case, maybe you have been given, let's say you have n minus k m minus h n plus, let's say you have hk. So how can you solve this? So you do this. The first step, you say you pair them so that you'll be able to, in order for your work to be easier. So when you pair them, as you can see, you pair the ones which seem to have something in common. As you can see, mn minus km, they have m which is in common, and also negative hn plus hk, they have h which is in common. Now from there, you look what is common, and then you factorize it, you factor it out. So as you can see here, m and m, it is common, so you say m outside, and then you divide m into mn. It is what? It is just an n. M into into negative km, it will be negative km. In the case where maybe you are confused, you can just say mn, and then the one which you have seen to be common, you say divide, like that, and then you cancel, you're going to remain with what? And also with negative km, when you divide m, it will be equal to what? Negative k, like that. That's how we have come up with this. Now here also you look what is common. As you can see, it is h, so you say positive h, open bracket, h into negative h n, you're going to have negative n, like that, and then h into hk, you're going to have positive k. Now as you can see, these, that and that, they are different. You have to make sure that whatever you're going to have, it is what? It is similar. Now how do you make this to be equal to that? How do you make this to be equal to that? So we do this. Here there's a negative, you factor out the negative, but when you factor out that negative, which simply means that the signs inside, they are going to change. So when we get this negative, it's going to multiply with the h there. So this negative is going to multiply with h there, so you're going to have negative h, open bracket. Now you have taken out the negative, so this becomes positive, and then this positive k becomes what? Negative, like that. And then you group, you get that and that, you group them together, you're going to have m minus h, like that, and then you just get one of these because they are similar, and then you're going to have n minus k, like that. Now in reverse, since we have said that factorization is just the reverse of the expansion, so if you want to expand this, you are going to see that you're going to have this, which we had in the first place. So let's try and check. So we're going to have m minus h, we're just trying to confirm here, like that. So when you start multiplying, remember the distributive law, m, open bracket, n minus k, and then you're going to have negative h, open bracket, you're going to have what? N minus k, like that. And then when you continue, this will be equal to what? M multiplied by n, it will be mn. M multiplied by negative k, yes, negative k, it will be negative km. Negative h multiplied by n, it will be negative hn. Negative k multiplied by negative k, it will be what? Positive hk. As you can see, we have just expanded this. As you can see, this is very similar with the one which we had at first. So it's just the opposite. Factorization is just the opposite of expansion. Now there are the times where we have been given, let's say you have let's say you have been given you have 5. Let's say you have a 5 there, negative 20 x squared. How do you solve this? Remember, here we're just factorizing, so you look for what is common first. Which one is common? As you can see, 5, it is common. 5, because 5 can enter into 5 and 5 can also enter into a 20 there, which simply means that this will be equal to 5 open bracket. Now you divide 5 into, let me just do this so that you don't get confused. You say this will be equal to, you say 5 open bracket. Now 5 into 5, it will be just 1 there, and then 5 into negative 20, it will be negative 4. Here we're going to have x squared, and then you have a 5 open bracket 1. Now remember, we are simplifying this in its simplest form. Factorizing, I mean, we are factorizing completely. So how do you factorize completely? So as you can see, we have a squared here, and also this one, we can raise it to any power, there will be no difference. So if we raise 1 to b squared, you know that 1 multiplied by 1 is just a 1 there, and then in negative. Now remember, this is a 4. If we break 4 into 2 squared, which simply means that you're going to have a what? A 4. So there will be no any difference there if we write it like that. Now remember, if we have x squared and squared, if you remember the rows of indices, this will be represented by 2x in brackets. Here we are going to have what? A 2 there. So when you say 5 1 squared minus 2x, this will be squared like that. Now remember, as you can see, this is very similar with that. Now if this is very similar with that, and then remember this, we are able to express it as in a plus b, and then open bracket b minus, a minus what? Minus b, like that. Therefore we are obliged to do what? To say 5 open bracket 1 minus, we can start with positive 2x, close bracket, open bracket, and also have 1 minus 2x, like that. So we have just made this in form of what? Different of 2 squares, of which we have here, if we have a difference of 2 squares, we are able to present this in an expanded form. And then remember, factorization, we are just factorizing here, and then we know that factorization is just the opposite of what? Expansion. Yeah, so that's how you go about that. Now, what if we also have, let's say you have been given, let's say you have a 4 minus 16x squared, and then they have told you how to factorize. So you might pause a video, and then afterwards you compare the solutions, because it will be very helpful. Yeah. Now the first step, remember, what do you do? And then do not forget the equal signs. Sorry, the equal signs are very important. So how do you factorize? You look for what is common, which can enter into both. As you can see, 4 can enter into 16. How many times? 4 times. So you say 4 open bracket, 4 into 4, it is a 1. 4 into negative 16x squared, it will be negative what? 4x squared. And then this looks similar with what we had there. So we just say 4 open bracket 1 minus this 4 becomes 2 squared, because 2 squared is same as 4, and then x squared becomes like that. And then you're going to have 4 open bracket 1 minus, remember this, as if you remember the rows of indices, the power, when you have this like that, this can be represented like that. So, and then the 1, remember, if we raise 1 to squared, it is equals to 1. If we raise 1 to the power 3, it is also equal to 1, as you can remember the rows of indices. So we also raise this to the squared, and then also maybe there at that point, like that. And then you are going to have, as you can see, this now becomes the difference of 2 squares. You're going to say 1 plus 2x, and then open bracket 1 minus 2x, like that. And then that becomes your answer. Sorry, this is not supposed to be there, like that. So that's how you usually go about factorization. Now um, just a practice question for you guys. um, what if you have been given, let's say you have let's say you have been given 2a b plus xy minus 2ay minus bx. You can pause a video and then you try it by yourself. I hope you have done that. Now, how do you solve this kind of question? You first group these in how you can see the ones which are similar. If we group these, when we say we have when we group these in this way, like that, can we have something that we can factorize? As you can see, this is, we don't have anything there, we don't have anything. So what do? You do this, you group them in such a way that you'll be able to what, to group them into two brackets. So if you um, if you are in this question, you say 2ab, as you can see 2ab 2ay, it is also, you have something common there, you just write it like that, and then you have positive xy and then negative bx, like that. And then now that's when you can group these now, like that. And then if you have that, which one is common between these and that? As you can see, it is 2a, so you say 2a open bracket, 2a into 2ab, it is just a b, 2a into 2ay, it is just a what, negative y, like that. And then also here do the same, which one is common? It is positive x, and then you say open bracket, x into xy, it is what, it is just a y there, x into negative bx, is just negative b. But these are not similar. You have to make sure that they become what, similar. Remember, what do? You factor out the negative. So how do you factor out the negative? So you get this negative, when you factor it out, it will be negative x open bracket. Now this becomes negative and the one which was negative becomes positive, so you're going to have b, and then y becomes what, negative y, like that. As you can see, these are similar. And then when you reach at this point, what do? You pair these. So you say 2a minus x in the brackets, and then you just pick one of those, which is b minus y, like that. So that is your answer. If we were to reverse this, definitely is going to give us that. Now, on your own time, try to find the value of the factorization of 6a x minus 4ay minus 3bx. Okay, there's no space, let me just do this. On your own time, try to find 6ax minus 4ay minus 3bx plus 2by, like that. So here your answer is expected to be your answer here can be expected to come out like 2a minus b in the brackets, and then also you're going to have 3x minus 2y, like that. So your answer must come out like this. When you solve this, your answer should come out like that. And also maybe also try to find a x squared y minus 4a y cubed, like that. Here your answer is also expected to be answer here is expected to be, okay, let me just try and solve this. So what if when we factorize here, you're going to have, which one is common here? As you can see, ay is common there, so you just say ay, open bracket, you're going to have x squared. Now ay into 4ay to the power 3, you're going to remain with negative 4y squared, like that. So when you have that, which simply means that you can continue by having ay. As you can see, remember there's two different of squares. As you can see, it is very visible at that point. So you're going to have 2 squared y squared, like that. And then if you have ay, open bracket, you're going to have x squared minus 2y, everything squared. That's the laws of indices. Now this can be can end in such a way that you're going to have ay, open bracket, ax minus, I mean, we can just start with positive, x positive 2y, and then x minus 2y, like that, as in the difference of two squares. And then you have ay. That is an answer. You end there. There's nothing else that you have to do, like that. Yeah, so I hope you practice very much. Thank you.